Get access to influencing experts. Welcome to Easy Talk Live. Woo! You guys ready to do this? Connect with celebrities and entrepreneurs. Entertainment at its best. Products, news, reviews, interviews, performances, events, even a little comedy. Giving back. CEOs connect with the top CEOs in the industry. And now, get ready for Easy Talk Live. Everybody pull your mobile phones out and put your hands together for the Easy Talk Live show. It's time to stop doing it the hard way and start doing it the easy way.
Easy way! Hey, the easy way. Oh, easy way. It's the easy way.
Hey, everybody. All right. Welcome to another awesome episode of Easy Talk Live. So we are going to be doing another great episode. And as you guys know, it is very interactive. So as you guys are watching our awesome guest today on the stage, you are welcome to ask questions. You're welcome to comment. And if we like your question or your comment, we might bring you on stage just like this. Can't wait to see Robert. Don Hilton, thank you so much for joining. So if you guys are unfamiliar with Easy Talk Live, we are a show that's been around for close to 15 years. We've interviewed over 4,000 different celebrities, and we give back in many different directions. So make sure that you check out our app at eZWay Interactive on Google Play or Apple Store. And you can actually connect with Robert. He's got a profile on there. You can reach out to him afterwards. You can follow his social media. You can get involved in his world by being part of our eZWay family. Use the hashtag eZWay family. If you guys are not familiar with Easy Talk Live, we are syndicated, nationally syndicated on cable and satellite television, hundreds of channels through one of our partners, which iDream CTV. We want to say thank you to them. We appreciate them, as well as we will be on many other platforms here soon. So as the show is going on, you guys are welcome to be a part of it. So we're going to go to a quick commercial break. And I am your host, Dr. Eric Zuley, known as the Digital Dick Clark, actually recognized by Dick Clark's former partner with the Family Film Awards on CBS as such. And we help you guys do the same thing. So if you guys like what you're watching right now, if you want to do your own show, if you guys want to get out there, we're one of the best ways to do that. So this commercial is going to show you how you can get a podcast and you can get more involved. And then when we come back, we're going to be bringing in our special guest today, which is Robert LaSardo, which you'll recognize him from CSI Miami, Nip Tuck, Death Race. I loved him in Death Race with Jason Statham and so much more. So we'll be right back after these messages with the show and our special guest here on Easy Talk Live.
Welcome to eZWay Podcast. Do you have a podcast? Maybe you want to create one. Let eZWayPodcast.com make it a little easier on you and your guests. For only $99 a month, you can super boost your podcast, get more subscribers, advertisers, and manage everything all in one place with eZWay Network.
Get seen and heard the easy way, get a larger reach, meet quality potential guests. You could be on Roku, Apple, Amazon, all mobile devices and smart TVs streaming on eZWayTV. Our network helps you get advertisers and people wanting to pay you for an interview, as well as brand credibility and more social media followers. Try it free. Register to eZWayPodcast.com.
Are you a speaker, author, coach, entrepreneur looking to get out there more and find new leads for your business? Meet Amy. Amy is a coach and speaker looking to get on more stages and podcast interviews so more people know about her products and services, so people are aware of what she can do for them. Amy heard about this eZWay pitch party on Zoom and decides to check it out. She registers at eZWayPitchParty.com for free. Amy is now given an account with eZWay Network and can log into her back-end portal. Amy discovers that there is a wide range of promotional and branding services offered through eZWay Network. Events, TV, magazine, podcasting, website and app creation, business tools and automation for her business. Even a directory of over 2,500 high-quality eZWay family members that she can do business with, joint venture, or even find affiliates for her own business. Plus all this is rolled into a social network that makes it easy for Amy to connect and follow up with everyone she meets. Amy can also post what she has going on, and what she wants other members to know about.
Wow, this is awesome. Now I have a stage I can promote my events, podcasts, and projects from.
Amy then realizes that her pitch she gives on the eZWay pitch party can also be aired and distributed on eZWay.tv, which gets her talk out to much more people. Amy just got a free commercial. eZWay even offers production and training services to turn Amy's pitch into a commercial that sells for her even while she is sleeping. So now Amy is put into a directory on a network that is tapped into multiple networks of multiple people that have their own stages, podcasts, and business referral networks themselves. So in short, now Amy has a done-for-you team to promote and brand her just because she decided to check out the eZWay pitch party stage she was told about. Amy can also refer her friends to the same thing and make 10% of anything her friends purchase from eZWay Network. Amy gets all this starting at $49.99 a month or $600 annually. Every time Amy gets on the pitch party stage, she is not only getting her message out there more, she is made to look like a star, which will help her attract more business to her business, because eZWay is helping to boost her online presence, notoriety, credibility, and authority.
eZWay Interactive. Start connecting the eZWay. Are you ready to connect like never before? Introducing the eZWay Interactive app, your ultimate social solutions network. Whether you're looking to network, collaborate, or simply share ideas, eZWay makes it easy to engage with like-minded individuals and organizations. Discover innovative solutions, join exciting discussions, and expand your horizon, all in one powerful platform. Don't miss out on the future of social networking. Download eZWay Interactive now and unlock endless possibilities.
Don't miss it on July 8th. Star actor Robert LaSardo from CSI Miami.
Are you at peace with your decision?
I am. The Mule.
When you get to the hotel, park your truck.
Nip Tuck.
What's with this music? I hate this shit. Now that's more like it.
Death Race.
You can fucking shoot me, but you just can't, motherfucker. Kill me!
And many other great films will be live with Eric Zuley presenting his new film as director, American Trash. eZWay family welcomes our newest member, Hollywood star actor Robert LaSardo. Don't miss it.
All right, there you go. So you can scan that QR code or text 1-888-346-9849 to the number. Text eZWay to that phone number, and you can subscribe and get updates on everything that's happening from this interview afterwards. So without further ado, we have our special guest, Robert LaSardo. As you saw, we want to say thank you to Mogul with Mogul Productions, who's been with us for quite some time, and bringing him to the table. Let's bring him to the stage and get your questions and your comments ready. Without further ado, let's bring Robert LaSardo to the stage. All right, what's up, man? How you doing?
Good, Eric. Thank you for having me on the show.
Great to have you. Great to have you. Again, said thank you to Mogul for making that introduction. And I remember, back in the day when I saw you on Death Race, and your character really stood out. You've been doing your thing for a while. I want to start out by saying, congratulations, in getting all these different roles and being able to move a lot further in your career than most people have. And that would be my first question to you is, what do you think it was that happened in your life that gave you that next level step to success? Like, how did you find that key that allowed you to open that next level door?
Well, before I answer the question, Eric, it's a very good question, I want to give a shout out to Michael and to Pamela, his girlfriend, and all the fans in Brazil who support me. So thank you.
Right back at you. I second that. Definitely a big thank you to Michael and his amazing girlfriend. That is the reason you are on the show. So, guys, get your pens and papers out, because we're gonna find out how you did it, Robert. I mean, you've done a lot of things in your career, and I mean, let's take it from the beginning, and then like make sure you really touch on that moment that happened in your life, and who you connected with that moment. Like, what was that next door key? Like, how did you find the key that allowed you to open up that door to the next level of success? Because it's a lot of obstacles, as you know, a lot of hating, a lot of you got to have armor, body of steel to be in this industry. Would you agree?
It started when I was a kid. It started when I was a kid. I connected with myself. I connected with the will within myself to survive anything and everything. So I don't know if there's some type of formula, method, or trick to any of it. I just know that there's some people in very powerful positions, who make all the decisions that determine how things play out, in the industry. And when you show up, you bring your whole life history with you, times the material, the whatever dog and pony show they want you to perform for them, So you get that in line. You make sure you give them what they want, and then they get a sense about you. And the rest is on them. Had nothing to do with me. I just knew I needed to survive. I had a vision in terms of creativity being a remedy, a way to prevent me from self-destruction. And I think that realization is what kept me going, regardless of the obstacles you talk about. The obstacles seemed like little mice in the corner squeaking compared to what I had to endure as a young man. So whatever they threw at me at auditions, colleagues, friends, family, and all that crap, I just ignored it and just focused on my will. And I wouldn't even call it a dream. I would just call it a higher calling, something that instinctively, innately, I knew I needed to do. And that's it.
Well, thank you so much for sharing that. And did you always want to be an actor? Did you always want to go down this road?
No, I felt. Well, let me break it down for you, Eric, quickly. Just quick trip down memory lane. So I grew up in Brooklyn. Spent some time in foster care. Then let's speed up. I auditioned for the High School of Performing Arts. I got in. I studied there for 3 years, and I got a taste of the stage, etc. Performing, the creative process, the discipline, all the things that were required of me, and I did well. What I didn't do well was the relationship dynamics in terms of the other creative types around. I couldn't connect with them. I didn't feel a kinship, to this idea of brethren. I felt more a sense of reality in the streets with the men that I was running with, getting tattooed, etc. That was my rite of passage. I was trying to like a lot of men who are young and confused. I was just trying to figure stuff out. Identity, place in the world. I was angry. So I couldn't envision theatrics on stage. I could do it. I had the ability, but I didn't envision some bridge into Hollywood, or didn't even see a future for myself. I just knew that my friends that I was hanging with in the street were catching cases, going to prison. Some of them were dying. And I thought, well, what am I going to do now? So I went into the military, and I got myself squared away, as they say in military jargon. And I spent 4 years getting my head together, getting my act together. And then when I got out, I reconnected with my acting teacher, Anthony Abeson. He kind of guided me into a creative awareness that helped me cultivate that practice. Yeah. And then I started to feel like, well, wait a minute, maybe this is something I would like to do. Yeah. So it kind of came in late time. It wasn't something I woke up with and had a light bulb moment or anything like that.
Okay. Yeah, because I know that sometimes, it's in your soul, it's in your blood. You know that you want to be an actor, and you know that you want to be famous, and sometimes, it just kind of like happens from a friend or, anything like that. I heard you say, Robert, that you were in foster care. And so you grew up as a foster care child?
For a minute, yeah. Yeah, when I found this information out in late time. The people who raised me were kind of tight-lipped about many things. So I found out these things. So if it's ambiguous, trust me, it's just as unclear to me in terms of how things materialize and in the what do you call within the timeline. But yeah, so I experienced that kind of disassociation from this idea of family unit, and I spent a lot of time wandering around the train yards when I was like, I don't know, 6 or 7. I was like in third grade, and I was wandering around the street a lot because I was getting thrown out of where I was living. This person I was staying with, this custodian of my life for a minute. So I went to the train yard, man, and when I looked at the train tracks, Eric, and I watched those locomotives pulling those freight cars, man, I don't know. I felt at home there, and I felt also that might be a passage to something away from what I was dealing with, what most people call home. The train yards were my home, the box cars, the tracks that seem to go on to this magical place, of not knowing. The mystery of where it goes from where I was seemed very inviting to me. So that was my family.
Yeah, the reason I ask is we deal with a lot of foster care children, and my dad's very, very passionate about, helping children find families and taking them out on field trips and things like that, and just making them feel like they're enough, making them feel that they're not forgotten, and we actually have a member of ours. We're forming a camp called Camp Not Forgotten, for that. So it's something we have in common a little bit there. So we'll chat more about that if you want.
Beautiful, man, that he does that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I had a lot of fathers down the road, that appeared not as a biological counterpart, but that were the patriarch that taught me things. And I'm grateful for those men that took the time to guide me away from ruin. Does that make sense?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. And so I commend you because you took a negative, because, did you have a good life, with the foster care growing up into acting, or would you say that was a challenged life?
I can't remember, man. I don't remember.
Okay.
So I just remember being moved around a lot and it being uncomfortable.
Okay.
I do remember a teacher that I had in elementary school that used to invite me over for cookies and milk, and she treated me nice because she knew, I think she sensed that the home situation that I was living in temporarily was not probably healthy. So she felt bad. So there was these little guardian angels that showed up periodically to kind of like soften the blow, so to speak. That helped.
That's always, yeah, it's always good. I'm an earth angel myself, so I'm always helping people and doing all that. So let's get into your acting career.
Right on.
A lot of we've had a couple of people send emails and ask questions and stuff based upon building up the show, and one question was, with your acting career, what was it that you feel that you could give advice on that helped you get your first start and actually getting a good role in acting? I can put some music in the background if we can get. Let's, in fact, engineer. Let's give them some motivation. Let's give you some motivation. I mean, I know that you have had such a promising career, Robert. So I mean, to have to go through all of that history, that question's probably again, the question was, what was that first opportunity?
Eric, let me just say this to everybody if we have anybody who's watching, I appreciate you even tuning in. Thank you for showing love and respect to the show and to Eric and his forum, his platform. I would just simply say it's not easy. It never has been, and it never will be. So I don't know if I can contrive some anecdotal method to offer as advice to anyone, other than it chooses you. You don't choose it. It chooses you. And then it's just a do or die situation. You do it or die. You realize that it's the only thing in your life that makes sense. And you sacrifice everything on the altar. Meaning, I remember this guy somebody asked me, hey man, what's the answer? How do you do this? I said, well, I don't know how I did it. I don't know if I did anything. I just showed up and kept showing up and kept banging on doors. And that will that I talked about early on is what carried me. And a vision of honoring this incarnation of creativity. And that's it. And then I said, but if you need some kind of symbolism or metaphor, I'll describe it this way. It's like taking everything you own. I mean, everything, even yourself, your conventional structured mind, your possessions, this idea of a family, children, all of it. You take it, right? And you sell it. And then you take the money and you go to Las Vegas and you bet it on the same number for the rest of your life. That's the game. Right up until the body drops. You got to go all the way with it. There's no like, well, plan B or backup plans or security, or if this doesn't work out, then I can go. That doesn't even factor in. So that's how I approached it. That was what this gentleman told me, or somebody told me, in terms of somebody asked you, tell him this. And the dude that told me, I think it was a man. He was an outlaw and he lived on the edge of things. So he understood a lot and he instructed me and it made sense. So he was another father down the road that helped me, motivate me to keep going like the Vikings and Valhalla, right up into the end, man. And that's it. It's you either do it or you die. That's the mentality that envelops you. And you don't know anything else. There's nothing else to know. That's all I would say about that.
Well, great answer. I appreciate the real answers that you're giving. I hope you guys are kind of recognizing that. And I mean, honestly, Robert, you had a really promising career. Obviously, we're gonna go ahead and kind of show your IMDb a little bit here, and you've done a lot of stuff. And I mean, you've done some pretty mainstream stuff like my CSI Miami and Nip Tuck and Death Race. But I always like to go down in the history and the stuff that people don't recognize. I mean, the stuff that I like to kind of take you in the crystal ball, take you through a little bit of a journey of all these projects. Out of all these projects, I mean, obviously you've done a lot. Congratulations. What would you say stands out the most to you, and why?
it all stands out as proof that it was not in vain. Because I'm not motivated by vanity. I'm motivated by the art form itself. So it all stands out. In terms of it, something I would personalize, I would say my film, American Trash, and we can talk about that later. But to answer your question specifically, yeah, I would say all of it, not anything in particular. I'm grateful that I got to, I guess, go through a rotation of auditions and bear countless indignities to build character when when I when I faced network television, because I did a lot of network television in the 90s. I was on every cop show known to man back in that time, and did a lot of studio movies too back in the day in the 90s, and even the early 2000s up into 2000. I don't know when it was, a 10 or 11, when I was when I was on CSI Miami with David Caruso for the final season. That was fun. But yeah, man, I mean, there's moments in it that resonate with me because I knew some people that were kind to me, that were, I guess you would call them celebrities, but they weren't, at least with me, they didn't allow the celebrity to get in the way of their humanity. So I remember that. That's what stands out to me. Anything that's honest and doesn't live in a vanity fair and an ego trip, I remember. The other stuff you just kind of forget, and other people remind. They tell you. You don't get to choose. They do. They tell you what they like. Like you said, you like the movie Death Race. That affected you. I say, right on, dude. So you don't. You just sit back and you enjoy people's response to things that you have no control over.
Well said. Yeah, I would say don't ever look back, only forward, because then you get that vanity. You think about what you've done, and you know. So going into Death Race, I did mention Death Race. I mean, you're playing opposite with people like Jason Statham and pretty major actors, along with yourself. And you played a character. Who was your character again? I forget his name. The skinny guy that got that smashed by the car. Grim. That's what it was. So you played Grim in Death Race. Is there anything that you could share with us? Any fun stories, any behind the scenes when you were shooting that project?
Yes, Eric, I can. That movie was more like a thrill ride, obviously from the audience perspective, and also making the movie. I got to drive the vehicle. It was a Chrysler 300. That was fun. And then they strapped me into this shell of that car and put it in a like gyroscope, this tremendous gyroscope, and they rigged cameras on the side of the windows, man. And then they said, Robert, we're going to strap you in. Do you have motion sickness? Do you get freaked out? You claustrophobic? I said, no, man, let it rip. I used to go to Coney Island when I was a kid, man, in Brooklyn, went on all the roller coasters before I was even, I don't know, 12 years old. And said, cool. So they started flipping the gyroscope started spinning, and the car started going upside down. It was like being in one of those rides, man, at Great Adventure or Six Flags or something. So that was a lot of fun, man. I had a good time doing that. It was a good time. And then Jason was really nice. I spoke to him briefly. He's a gentleman. And what else? Yeah, man, it was just a good time. Montreal back in the day. That's where they filmed it in Canada. And then I remember staying in a place called Old Port, which has a history. A lot of the buildings there have been standing for hundreds of years, man. So culturally, it really kind of blew my mind. It was just a beautiful place to stay in this nice hotel in a very posh district, and then go make a movie and have fun. Yeah, it was cool. Oh, and then the other thing was, so let me put a period on this, man. The other thing, which I think is crucial because of the scene you just described, was they put me in a full body cast, man. To make that robot that they built to get hit by that truck. And so they put me in a full body cast, and after they made the body cast, they put explosives in it, charges, and they wired it, and they painted tattoos all over it. And they said, Robert, check this out. And I'm like, holy, wow, that's crazy. I looked at it, and that was pretty cool. And I watched him detonate it, because once the truck hit the dummy, or the robot is a better way to, I guess, say it, They just pressed the button and the thing blew apart. It was amazing. That was pretty cool, man. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was wild.
So you mean that wasn't you? That was a
Nah,
robot.
well, obviously, I mean, I'm here, right? I mean, if it was me, then I think you'd be talking to my ghost, dude.
Exactly. I'm totally kidding. But Victoria is watching right now. We appreciate all you guys. Don, Victoria, Jason, Lindsay, everybody. Hello, amazing Dr. Eric Zuley in the house. You're a rock star. I always bring you genius. Thank you so much, Victoria. I appreciate that. And I mean, yeah, there's so many awesome behind the scenes stories, and those are always fun. And by the way, guys, if you're enjoying the show and if you want to interact more and you want to see some of the new episodes, we have a lot of celebrities that we interview. You could go to www.eZWayTalkPodcast.com and subscribe. So, Robert, we're going to take this time to share your Instagram a little bit, get you some followers, if that's okay with you. Everybody could, definitely always use some followers. So your Instagram, if you guys are enjoying our guest, Robert LaSardo, you can go to lasardo.robert. I'm going to take you through a couple of things on your Instagram here. And, you mentioned American Trash. We're going to get into that here in a second. You have a lot of tattoos. and do you have any stories or any reasons behind any of these tattoos?
Yeah, it's just a trip through hell. I took a lesson from the dude who wrote Dante's Inferno. Dante, back in the day, he wrote that poem about hell, and he visited all the different tiers in hell.
What is this that we're watching right now?
Say again.
What is this? We're if you look at the screen.
Yeah, a colleague of mine named Looney Dingo. We're doing some type of animated film thing, and he created that with AI.
Oh, cool. Okay, I thought that might be another film you might be working on or something. Awesome. Well,
actually, it's an animated type thing, movie.
So, animated project. Okay. Well, if you need any support in those places, funding, distribution,
right on.
Yeah, we got a lot of that type of stuff. There's a lot of people in the eZWay family that definitely loves to get involved with projects like this. So Trisha James, hello from Texas. Trisha Melvin, I'm enjoying the interview. I'm so glad to hear that, Trisha. Thank you so much. So one more question for you, Robert, and I always ask everybody this question because again, we when I first started, a little bit background on me. I was one of the first original YouTube partners when YouTube started. And I was one of the top 100 channels on YouTube before Google bought them. And I sought out to do interviews to teach others what they need to know to succeed their goals. It was ultimately to be able, because I had access to these people in Hollywood. I had access to these amazing, I had the blessing of access. So I figured if I blessed others with the access that I had, that would hopefully law of reciprocity would come back to me. And it did. I mean, we're doing amazing things now. So in a matter of that, what blessings, what do we need to know to succeed our goals from Robert LaSardo as far as the business side of the industry? Let's go down that road.
I'm just going to be honest with you because I don't want to talk about things I don't know anything about. But I will speak to the work ethic, and I think that does in some weird way translate into business, and I'll explain it in a sec. I call it, like you talked about, blessings and things like that, and I look at it that way as well, and paying it forward, helping other people, and doing good deeds. Yeah. I look at it as my work karma is clean. I like to keep the work karma clean, meaning that when someone hires me to do something, I take it very serious, almost too serious. I don't think there's such a thing. And so I prepare them, and I study, and then I study some more. So then when I go to work on set, I'm squared away like I was in the military. If the military taught me anything, taught me that kind of discipline. And then when you get a reputation as being prepared and effective and making impact on set with your employer, word gets around. And when you do good business with your employer, I'm my own representative. I don't deal with agents and managers anymore. I represent myself. and I deal directly with the producers and the directors and the writers. And
I got to say, Robert, smart man. Thumbs up, smart man.
and yeah, and I find that when you talk to them from a real place and a sensitive place, not a gullible place, but just hear them out, see what they're dealing with, what their budget's like, all the particulars. You can assess it and then talk reasonably as men or women to discuss what's possible. So you don't try to shake down a production, especially with the indies that I do, because I love doing independent movies, man. So I find that good business translates on two fronts: strong work ethic, good reputation in that field, the creative field, and always, delivering the goods as they require, and then doing good business with the people that hire you, so they want to hire you again. That's all I can really say about that.
Great answers. I love it. So you guys, strong work ethics, and I mean, honestly, I think, man, it's really just being real, and it's not about who you know. It's really not who knows you. A lot of people say it's who knows you. I think really what it really boils down to is it's how they know you. You know what I mean? Like how they see your eyes lit up when I said that. It's because the relationships is really where it's at. Because I've seen a lot of, I mean, people think in the industry that you do auditions and magically a casting director is going to go, oh, hey, I love you, and it's really not that way. I did an Axe body spray commercial, and you were talking about being strapped in the car. I was strapped in the car, and this limousine splits in half when I was inside of it. Didn't know anything about that you're supposed to be paid for doing your own stunts, and I had to learn a lot the hard way. But I got that commercial, one, because I'm a rapper and I'm good at it, and kind of that commercial was me. But two, I knew some people and they had respect for me. They appreciated it or whatever. So I think you would agree with that, right? It's not who you know, it's it's how they know you. All right, so we're gonna go to commercial break, guys.
Is key, Eric. Yeah, man. Perception is key, dude.
Perception is everything.
It's an
exactly.
industry of perception, dude. Absolutely, in my opinion. Yeah, I don't like being preaching fundamentals, because I'm not a fundamentalist, but I think that holds true. Yeah, perception. Yep. Yeah.
Mark Balin says, love all Robert's work. A true badass. Eric Zuley, your interviews are primo. Thank you so much, Mark. I appreciate it. Mark actually has a network himself on cable and network, and maybe you guys can get together. So I appreciate that, Mark. And I was slightly affected.
Thank you for the kind words, man. Appreciate it.
I was slightly affected, Dawn, by the storm in Texas. I'm sorry to hear that, Trisha. And then Eric, nice event. I'm so glad that you're enjoying it, guys. And again, I love hearing from you guys. So don't be shy. Make sure. And if you have any questions, we're gonna get into his new project here real soon. But before we do that, guys, I mean, this show is really about you guys. So if you have any questions, any comments, or anything for Robert, let us know. We put it on screen. So Mark says On the Mark is all about everything eZWayTV, and they're on our network, and they bring to the world of entertainment. Yeah, there you go, Mark. All right, so I'm gonna go commercial break, guys. I hope you're enjoying the show. We're gonna get up into what we've been waiting for. You got this amazing film, American Trash, and I saw that it was actually promoted on IMDb. So I'm actually going to play that. I'm hoping that we can get some volume with it. Give you guys a little sneak peek. There we go, of the demo here. Okay, maybe I can't. Maybe I gotta. Video is not intended. Oh, adults. Okay, so let me put. I am over the age of 18, so 1982. There, I'll put my. There we go. So this is your new film, American Trash, coming up, and it doesn't look like we have volume. Oh yeah, we did.
A country of devils to kill, and that's what I did.
So you just come here and pick up trash?
This cave is all that's left. Most people see it as some evil relic from the past, but to me, it's sacred.
I think you'd really appreciate what you're doing here. I know I do. You love me?
Everything I am, yeah.
I got a call that no one showed up. This is Mandy. I'm Melissa's sister.
Can someone please just tell me my sister?
Don't get wrapped up in the hate, my man. It will blind you.
I'd like to know what's happening with the investigation concerning Melissa Maddox.
The investigation is ongoing at the moment.
I'm not gonna let hate influence my thinking.
You believe in God?
Yeah.
Let's wait and see if God saves you.
I would hate to hear that you stepped outside the law with this.
So this is a film that you directed and you produced and you starred in and you did all yourself. So we're gonna get into American Trash here in a second. So guys, we'll go commercial break, and if you're enjoying the show, again, go to www.eZtalkpodcast.com. And if you want your own podcast, you know, that's something the eZWay Network can do for you, and we can help you make 7 figures doing it. So if you want to learn more, just post in the comments. We'll be right back.
Welcome to eZWay Podcast. Do you have a podcast? Maybe you want to create one. Let eZWayPodcast.com make it a little easier on you and your guests. For only $99 a month, you can super boost your podcast, get more subscribers, advertisers, and manage everything all in one place with eZWay Network.
Get seen and heard the eZWay, get a larger reach, meet quality potential guests. You could be on Roku, Apple, Amazon, all mobile devices and smart TVs streaming on eZWayTV. Our network helps you get advertisers and people wanting to pay you for an interview, as well as brand credibility and more social media followers. Try it free. Register to eZWayPodcast.com.
Discover eZWay's Best of the Best book. A powerful collection of stories from some of the most influential figures in entertainment, business, and philanthropy, featuring contributions from Dr. Eric Zuley, Dr. Dante Sears, Kevin Sorbo, Samantha Goldberg, Rayster Michaels, the late Catherine Coven Pacino, Hawthorne James, James Zuley, Elijah Green, Silk Cozart, Matt Borlingy, Kate Linder, Dr. Olympia Gelini, J.O. Welch, Johnny Venacour, Jacqueline Prince, Jim Bannon, Teresa Young, Matt J. Doyle, Carmelita Pittman, Jason McNamara, Deborah J. Hollick, David Chametsky, Reatha Gray, Tras de la Torre, Donna Marie May, publisher Deneen A. Collins, and Omar Periu. Foreword by Omar Periu, this book is packed with invaluable insights and inspiration. 100% of all sales go to support Better Vision for Children, helping children in need. Now available for pre-order on Amazon Kindle. Direct Publishing. Sponsored by eZWay app and eZWay Promotions, this book provides incredible wisdom that will leave you with golden breadcrumbs of knowledge. Download the eZWay app for free on the Apple Store or Google Play to follow our amazing authors and stay connected. This book is more than just a read. It's an experience.
All right, guys, and we are back. Easy Talk Live. Hope you're enjoying the show. Make sure you subscribe or download our app, eZWay Interactive. If you want to interact later on with Robert and comment and connect, because that's what the app is really for. So without further ado, we're going to bring Robert back to the stage. And Robert, let's get right into it. And guys, post your comments, press the share button, like, interact, tell your friends. I've still got a lot for the show. So you have American Trash. What gave you the idea? How did you come up with it? How did the name come about?
I got a question for you before I answer that. Did you see the film?
No, I'm here really because of Michael. I've seen the trailers. I'm actually looking forward to watching the film because it seemed interesting from the trailers and the promos.
The reason I asked is because I wasn't sure how familiar you were with it. That's why. So this way I can be more detailed in my answer. So I wasn't sure if you had New
And
Orleans.
Mark, by the way, says, God bless you. He's a Navy veteran. And by the way, thank you for your service, by the way. My dad was a military police.
Right on. That's what him and I have in common. I was military police as well. Right on. So thank you for appreciating that part of my life. And I hope your father's well. If he's not with us, then God bless him. Either way, thank you. So no, the reason I asked you is so that I would understand just how much you know. And if you don't, then I can fill in the blanks for you. Does that sound good?
100%. Please fill in the blanks. In fact,
Okay,
what?
so you asked me about the name of the film, right? Okay, so why American Trash? So I think it had something to do with that. I saw, what did I see? I saw trash washing up at the beach a lot. I saw dolphins sick, dying on the beach, having seizures because of all the pollution in the water. I saw the pollution in the woods. Saw pollution up on the hiking trails. People leaving their, Starbucks containers and crap, all kinds of stuff. Diapers in some of this most beautiful mountain passes I've seen, and then I saw graffiti on the walls. I'm just like, wow, they're ruining all this, and just really upset me because I've lived in Los Angeles most of my life. And then I saw on the roadways, I saw people just throwing trash on the ground out of the car, and they were American people. They're Americans doing this in America. So thus my title, American Trash. So whether it's the trash as a symptom of the people that may have a trash mentality, they're trashing the environment, trashing everything, and animals are dying, trees are getting cut down, and beautiful rock formations are being tagged up with gang graffiti. So I just was a little upset by that, I guess. So yeah, I thought the title was apropos.
I love that. My lady was walking by. She's going out the door, but she said, "Tell him I love him." When she heard what you were talking about the environment and what you saw with the dolphins and I love the fact that that's the definition behind the name. We also have a couple of people on Instagram right now. Shout outs to CIE Fashion Magazine, the owner's Air Force Police. So he said shout out to you. And if you get a chance, Robert, there are people on the screen that are commenting. If you want to say their name and say thank you, a very interactive show.
Thank you, Vanessa. Thank you, Mark.
Yeah, so let's go, dude. I'm just going to give you the stage. Imagine that this is a TEDx stage. We call it an easy talk stage. The stage is yours. Get into the storyline, the behind the scenes. Whatever you want to talk about the film.
The storyline isn't too complicated, really. It's just about a man searching for redemption and reclamation. He's a combat vet that did tours in Desert Storm, and he suffers from PTSD. And the way he deals with that condition is just picking up trash, cleaning up the environment. That's his, I guess, Zen place. Yeah. And then he meets a young lady who's a hippie type environmentalist, and they kind of hit it off because she picks up trash too. And then they fall in love and have this short-lived romance because something terrible happens, which triggers him. Yeah. And a lot of the movie is more of a meditation than violence. I wanted to get away from violence because I've been in so many violent films. I thought it'd be interesting to look at that kind of subject from a different perspective, a way to heal.
Don't you hate that typecasting?
Rather heal than seek revenge.
Yeah. Don't you hate that typecasting?
Typecasting? What do you mean?
Well, these people, they when they see you as a character, you get a lot of different jobs as the same type of job because they typecast you and they see you as a one particular type of actor when you have so much more skill and you have so much more wide range of acting abilities.
Well, let's not get too far off track, but I'll answer that question real quick. It's anecdotal. Richard Pryor said to me when I did a movie called Moving, a comedy, first studio movie I ever did in 1987. I said, Richard, what about the politics? I got all these tattoos and everything. He said, well, I'm a black man. He says, screw the politics. You just tell them you want a job.
And when you love something, you have to be grateful. Doesn't mean it's going to love you back. So you just take the job and be grateful that you're working. So some of us, we're not afforded the opinion, the luxury to evaluate the work when we come from hell, or we come from a world where it's amazing, so, I even lived this long, or when I was looking over my shoulder when I was younger, that some of the things that could have destroyed me didn't. So just to be able to be on a set and work with all the people I work with over the years is a blessing in my book. I don't judge it, good or bad. If the people that hire me are in the position of power to evaluate me, that's on them. It has nothing to do with my ability. And so you don't get too caught up in that mentality. You just do the job the best you can. And if you're really good at it, it's not the same character. It's different characters. You just put a different spin on something they keep regurgitating, and you make it yours. In that sense, it's real, it's fresh and effective. That's why I think we're having this talk today, because there's been impact along those lines. So that's how I feel about that. It's not my affair how people perceive me. I just do the job. But
I
back
agree.
to but back to the movie. So regarding the film, let's see. And it kind of goes in line with what you brought out here about this notion of typecasting. There's another saying that one of my teachers at the studio, I think it was, a performing arts, said. He says, it's better to be typecast than not cast at all. So that stuck with me too. Anyway, but I guess after a while, though, artistically, it could be said that there is a need to express something that you're not allowed to, because your vocation suggests, you're confined in this particular genre. This is where we're going to put you, and it works well, and be happy. And so, you appreciate it. But I think for me, it's like a canvas, blank canvas. Someone hires you, right? And they tells you, paint this, paint that. And because you know how, you do it, and you do it well. But I guess the motivation behind the film, other than the story I just told you about the film, and plus I'm a veteran, man. And and I wanted to tell a story about something that I know. They say, write about what you know. So I haven't been to prison. I'm not a felon. I'm a veteran, and I got an honorable discharge, and I served the country. So I want to tell a story along those lines, and I wanted to paint something that was meaningful to me on that canvas, because I thought, you know what? They're paint what they're painting, or I'm paint what they want me to paint. Right on. It's cool. People love it. They get off on it. You like Death Race. People like Nip Tuck. They like what they like. You can't blame the audience for liking these things. You just got to roll with it and be grateful. But I thought, well, as an artist, man, I wanted to fulfill some need to, to play jazz, to be loose with it. I wanted to get loose with it, have no restrictions, man. And that's what my movie allowed me to do. It allowed me to explore areas that were important, I thought, and still do. Yeah. And the environmental issue, men who served in the war who suffered from PTSD, friends that are trying to help other friends who are going through crisis, because love, as it's stated in the movie, as love is the cure. So I wanted to focus on a love story, not just love of a woman, but love of friends, and how they cope with a world that's becoming more and more desensitized through violent movies and all sorts of stuff on the internet, and this apathetic culture that we're enveloped by. I wanted to resensitize myself and tell them a story that might touch people that are still open to that kind of film.
Yeah, I wanted to build a network, mainly because the demonic and these, just derailing content with our youth. Some of this content that I see on I'm not going to mention particular networks, because I don't want to bash any networks, but some of this content I see that comes out, I mean, we're talking about pedophilia type stuff. We're talking about hardcore demonic stuff. We're talking about, just brainwashing type of stuff. And I thought to myself, I'm like, I want to create something that's positive. I want to create something that I control. I want to create something that I can put, I can bless other people with, and just like you said, you do your own thing. You run it, you control it. So talk about that. Let's put your director hat on. You directed this film. You're passionate about it.
Right. What's the question?
I just want you to talk about it. I mean, we've talked about you being an
Keep
actor.
asking me a question, please. It'll help.
No problem. So we've talked about you being an actor in a lot of great stuff.
Right.
Now how well do you think that you did as a director? I mean, was that your first directing debut? Have you directed other projects?
Well, I don't. Here's the thing, Eric. It's subjective, right? It can be subjective. So I don't want to toot my horn and say I thought I did a good job, or reproach myself and say I could have done better. I mean, we can always be better, but I'm not going to do that neither. What I'm going to rely on is my instinct when I watch something to see if it affects me, and pretend I have no stakes in it. Look at it objectively, because I'm very critical with the work I do for others, and how I prepare for any job I do. And so I always want to be and do the best. And I looked at it with those eyeballs. So the film went through several editorial changes until I got it where I wanted to be. So when I look at it, it affects me when I watch it. That's all I can say. Not caught up in the analytics like a lot of people are, and they watch things from the neck up and they get stuck in their heads. I don't do that. I watch movies from my heart. And if a movie touches me, then it's done its job. If I care about the characters, the story, the music, if the cinematography works to, please my eye, then it's all good, man. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to have some soul and a heart. And I feel that my movie has those.
Yeah.
And if I divorce myself, though, from the equation, right? Excuse me, and I look at some of these Rotten Tomato critics that reviewed my film, because they're really hard-nosed critics. They don't mess around. They have no stakes in it. They don't care. They either like something, they don't. And I got reviewed by at least 8 Rotten Tomato critics, and they all liked my movie. And this is my first one, and I didn't have a whole lot of money to make it. Some people have 100 grand, 200 grand, $500,000. I didn't even have none of that. I had very little money to make this. I made it with my own savings, and I relied on the actors that I worked with to do their best with very little in terms of techniques at my disposal. Yeah. And so, yeah, I think all things considered, I don't like pride, so I'll just say I'm pleased with the outcome, and I'm grateful that I lived long enough to make it manifest and help some other people that a few of the cast members, maybe not all of them, but a couple really appreciated that they were a part of it. I know they do, because they tell me. Everybody else, it might have been just another job for them. Either way, it's good. They delivered what I needed them to do. I hired them to do a job, and they did it. And so it's all good.
Well, Robert, you mentioned that you prepare a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
How did you prepare yourself when you were getting ready to sit in the director's chair to knock this film out of the park? I think you did a great job from the promos that I've seen, as well as an actor. How do you prepare as an actor? Let's talk about preparedness.
I drank a lot of whiskey. I did.
Are you being
I drank
serious?
whiskey, dude. There were days that were very stressful, so I drank whiskey. And I'm a
Okay.
method actor, like the actor studio thing. And I go really deep with mine, and to invoke certain dispositions to make manifest, even if it kills me. I thought, well, hopefully I can get through this movie and not die, because there was a couple of times I had to go to urgent care because I thought I was having a heart attack, a la, Apocalypse Now, Martin Sheen having a heart attack during the making of that film. So I went deep with it, and the drugs and the alcohol that I was kind of employing to kind of bring about certain dispositions were necessary for me. I won't do that again, and I don't drink and I don't take drugs, but it was necessary at the time to do it as a preparation in certain sequences, not through the entire film. As a director, an actor's director, if you want to use that phrase, I say I just expected everybody to do their best, and I put them through boot camp. And I think some people were uncomfortable with that. They didn't like that. I was upset that some of them came to work not knowing their lines. And I saw people not taking the material as serious as I would like them to. And I
Yeah.
reminded them that everything was on the line, my whole life savings, and that they came on board and I hired them because I believed in them. And I asked them, do you believe in me? Oh yeah, Robert. So, well, you kind of let me down. Can you step up your game, because I'm doing everything I can. And then they did. And in the end, I look at the performances and they did, but I had to, get kind of like a drill instructor cap on and, get the troops in order, man. So
Mhm.
they wouldn't lose focus. That's how I
Yeah.
did it. I wasn't, there was no, it was all tough love on my set. There was no baby talk.
You got to do that, man. Not only as a director, but I think like doing events, like in my line of work, I do a lot of high level events. We do events that actually raise capital and money, and there's a reason, there's a particular objective. A lot of the events that we do, fundraising, nonprofit, and sometimes you can't be the most liked. I tell people, if you want to be successful at a project, and you're a director, a producer, or you know whatever it is, you cannot be liked in business. So you have to get that project the way you want it to be. And if people aren't doing their jobs and they're not taking it, especially if they're not taking it seriously, I've been on set many times, and I'm not going to mention names, but I've seen even A-listers. You just act like their shit don't stink, and you know what I mean. And I got to laugh out of you, and you can't tolerate that. Otherwise, your project will fall.
Yeah,
So,
man. Yeah. There it is, So that's why the vanity thing is kind of a turn off to me, I'd rather focus on the creative and stay grounded and rooted in the
yep.
real. Hey, Karen, is that Karen? Hi, Karen.
Yeah, Karen Hall, she's saying thank you, giving the love to the film, and especially for those who've been isolated and who suffered trauma and PTSD. So she appreciates what you said.
Right on. Yeah. So,
yeah, so a lot, and I appreciate you acknowledging the fans when they're popping in. Daisy Girls, I got a lot of love for you. So that you're the hardest working.
Hey, how you doing there?
Yeah, a lot of hardest working, talented people. So I love the fact, and thank you for sharing, Robert, that you didn't have a big budget, and you're being real, that you put your own money into your own dream. So I gotta say, I commend you for that. And it's not easy. It's not easy to get funding for these films. And I don't know if you know, but I'm a producer with River Rock Films, which is a A-list level independent film studio production. I partner with them on a lot of different things, and I've done some projects myself. I'm a producer, and if you ever need help there, we can chat on that side of things too, because we're starting to actually build a bank and a film fund and some ways to help these projects if they're good cause related projects, or they're giving back, they're heart-centered projects. Even if they're rated R projects, it still has to have some sort of heart behind it. And Karen says, thank you, Robert LaSardo. She just wanted to acknowledge you. Karen is actually the producer for a very major stage that we're doing with A-list level multimillionaires that are going to be speaking on how to turn influence into income. And that's my next question for you, Robert, is how have you created your influence? Obviously, well, no, that's a bad question. You're already an actor and you've created a lot of influence off of being on the screen. How have you turned that into income besides the standard method of the business, which is films, television, yada, yada, yada? Social media wise, merchandising, licensing. Let's talk a little bit about how you made money with your influence.
Okay. So with respect to your position, which I honor, everybody's got their own path in this life. Clearly, you do, Eric. I do. Everybody does. Once again, I'm not going to speak on something that I don't know about, or maybe that I don't have a penchant for. So what I would say is that I don't know about that. I don't know about it, and I think that a lot of it has to do with my relationship to this idea of money. I know money is necessary. I know people need it to survive, and it's a big piece of what makes the current world go round. I get it. But from how I grew up, getting by on a little, and some of my spiritual practices and philosophies, I take a lesson from the Tibetans, who take a bowl of rice and go a long way with a little. So I don't know if I'm the right person to ask about that. I do know I'm more traditional, like you said in the first part of your question, that the work karma has provided me an opportunity to make a living. And I've been doing it so long that, I've established a pension from the union. But outside of that, I haven't really had the time to investigate that model or practice to create revenue because I'm too busy memorizing dialogue and reading all the time. So I don't have, and the day is only so long. And because I feel when people say to me, like, hey, man, are you excited about the project? I'm like, well, I'm not excited as much as I'm grounded and grateful. So I don't jump up and down like I used to anymore. That doesn't work for me. I don't want to get high with the work. I just want to be free with it and do the best I can and get a decent salary. And I do get a decent salary based on the budget that I'm dealing with. So for me, the money thing is just about grocery money, paying the bills, and living a very minimalist type life. But for those who want more than that, rock on. I'm not knocking it. It's just I'm not that guy. So I don't know if I have the mindset to offer any kind of advice along those lines.
Well, I appreciate your honesty. We gotta change your mindset, man. We're gonna make you that type of guy. It's it's a much when you're able to be in a position of being comfortable, you're able to bless many other people. And so we want to do everything we can to help others bless others. And you need to be. It's the mask scenario when the plane is going down. You got to put the mask on yourself first to make sure you're okay, to take care of the person next to you is okay. So we'll chat more about that. But we had a CIA Fashion Magazine say, I would love to put this film on screen, the movie for the U.S. vets in Inglewood. And this guy, CIA Fashion Magazine's, one of the people we work with, they can do that. They're very, very good. So that was, thank you, Damon. Appreciate that. And,
yeah,
and
thank
then
you. I appreciate that, man.
Karen says the U.S. vets would love this film. So yeah, I mean, speaking of the veterans side of things, you're gonna have to meet my dad, Robert. He works with the American Legion, the DAV, multiple veterans organizations. Shout outs to Tara Jones with the National Women's Veterans Association. We do a lot of veterans and a lot of things. So if you did want to get this film in the hands of vets, that's something that we can definitely do. And if anybody has anything that they could do to help Robert, I mean, this show is just as much as he's helping you guys with great advice. And this has been a great show. I hope you're enjoying yourself, Robert. What do you think so far of the show?
I feel very comfortable with you.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I'm glad that I can make you feel comfortable. And I tried my best to make it a win-win for everybody. And so there is a large audience that we have. Speaking of large audience, we want to say thank you to our sponsors and our syndication partners. We want to make sure that we highlight them. So thank you to Dream CTV TV, which is on cable television and satellite and all over the place, 200 something channels. You guys can look up our channel on channel 26, and you'll see lots of what we do with eZWay TV. So as well as all of our distribution, we are live right now on eZWay TV. So if you go to eZWayTV, you can watch it live. We want to say thank you to all of our distribution: WWTVN, iTube 247, Faith Channel, Actors Reporter, CIE Fashion Magazine, which is here right now, Fan TV Global Network, Manny Pacquiao supported network, Radiate Television, which is on Pluto, and Tubi, and Women on TV, Worldwide TV, VidMe Television, Trailblazers TV, iDream. I just showed you guys on the Mark TV, Women's Channel, and Face of the Rap Mothers network. We just so appreciate all of our syndication and distribution partners to help us get the word out there, help us spread the love. And let's make sure that, again, guys, we follow Robert's Instagram, and if you want to support him, that's one of the best ways. He also has a profile on eZWay network. And if you guys want to get in touch with Robert, we actually have a lot of funders and distributors and film producers and actors and so on and so forth. So there's a lot of them actually on the eZWay network. So I want anybody that's watching right now to maybe reach out to you, and we'll get you up on the celebrity section too, because you do have a profile. So guys, I want you to look up Robert on the eZWay Wall of Fame, because he is a newfound eZWay family member, thanks to Michael and his lovely other half. you can look up Robert LaSardo and reach out to him. We got to get your trailer up here, Robert, and you can put more of your social media if you want, but make sure you guys click on connect from his Wall of Fame profile if you want to get a hold of him after this show, and make sure that you reach out to him, you friend him, give him a review too. Click on review, and if you're enjoying the show, if you're enjoying what he said, make sure you shoot him a review. And when you click on connect, it's going to take you to the eZWay which is our app, eZWay interactive app, and you can look up Robert, and you can friend him, and then you can message him. So you can say hello, and Robert will actually be notified, and you can reach out to him. So hopefully, Robert, you'll reach back out to our fans that want to get in connected with you, maybe support you on your next project. And do you have another project? What's coming up? What's coming up for 2026?
Yeah, there's several movies that I believe are coming out this year. I just know the names. It's hard for me to remember a lot of this stuff, but I just do the work. But there's a film called Love Me Dead coming out this year. Another movie called Vanished, and then I just did one called Anything for Blood. Yeah, so I've got at least 4 or 5 movies I think that are coming out this year. I just can't remember all the titles.
Yeah, I mean, you're doing something right when you can't remember all the projects that you've either done or you're gonna be doing.
No, I'll give you a little anecdote. Maybe it's funny, maybe it's not. I went to Ace the other day to get some that I needed, and then the guy at the store is real nice to me. He knows that what I do for a living. I don't generally tell people, but seems like they find out eventually. He wanted to know, hey, so what's been going on? What have you been doing lately? Where can I find it? And I paused because I had I guess a senior moment, because I didn't know. I said, so, you know what? I was just down in Alabama, and I was over in Los Angeles. I did something called Night Drive. I did another thing, and I think, yeah, but where can I don't know, dude. I don't remember. Sorry. And I apologize to him, because I don't carry my resume around with me, unfortunately. It's not the first thing on my mind. The only thing that's really on my mind is what I have to do on any given day in terms of discipline and duty, and then I focus on that. I try not to get too ahead of myself. I don't try to go into the future, and I don't try to live in the past. I just try to stay here now.
I love that. Yeah. Like I said, you don't look back, you look forward.
And the other thing too, Eric, is that if people really generally are my fans or they like my work, there's something called Google. I'm not as clearly as skilled as you are with all these apps and everything, but Google is pretty basic. You put in my name and do a search for movies, new ones. It'll tell you everything that's available on all the streaming platforms. It's not that hard these days. So I find it curious sometimes when people ask me, not you, but when people that are curious about the work don't do that. And I don't always have the resume in front of me or remember. And it takes a lot of time to hit all the links and send somebody a bunch of links to various films, and sometimes you'll send that to somebody and they don't even write you back. So you wonder, like, I don't know. Is there a point to this? I guess there is. I mean, I like to be nice to people and provide information, but after a while, it just kind of feels, I don't know, ineffectual. If they're not going to go, if you tell them, yeah, I'm in this, it's coming out, because I've done that. I've been down the road where I tell people things a lot, and I would focus on that. And you tell them, and then they wouldn't go watch it a lot of the time. They wouldn't see the movie, And so when people want to talk to you about things but haven't taken the time to watch your movie or movies, it kind of makes you reconsider things. And if people generally want to watch anybody's work, forget about me, they find it. If there's a need, then it follows through that there's an action and it manifests. So I shouldn't have to, try to coax people along too much if they generally want to see what's next, I guess. That's just my philosophy on it. And I find it's less stressful that way, because then I don't feel like I have to bring my report card home anymore to anyone and look up at them for any reason. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
All right. Well, and guys, I hope you're enjoying the show. Thank you so much. Remember, you can subscribe at www.eZtalkpodcast.com. And if you want to follow me and you're enjoying the show, you can look up Eric Zuley on Instagram, and you'll see me with a couple celebrities and people I've interviewed and what we've done. And if you ever want to be interviewed, if you ever want to be on a stage, if you ever want to get involved, I'd definitely appreciate you guys getting involved and following and we welcome you to the eZWay family. We have a lot of stuff we're involved with, so definitely make sure that you look me up, as well as the eZWay family Instagram, if you want to be a part of the community and meet amazing celebrities like this. We are live right now on Instagram as well. You'll see a lot of stuff within the community, and we welcome you to the eZWay family. If you're watching the show, we have this amazing influence to income summit. In fact, Robert, I don't know if do you speak at all? Do you ever get on stage, or are you not really a speaker?
Yeah, I've done that. Yeah, I have done that.
Well, let's get you with Karen, our producer, and let's see if we can get you on our stage. This is the A-list level stage with multimillionaires that are giving advice on how to turn influence into income and turn your pitch into profits. And we were almost sold out at this point. It is a virtual event, so hopefully you can join us if you like to. We'll get you linked up with that. And so guys, I encourage you to definitely follow eZWay family and get more involved. Everything we're doing is here, and we have our big eZWay Awards Golden Gala coming up. Robert, I can see you getting nominated for an award based upon your career. We've had some of the biggest directors and NBA sports stars and actors and even Kevin Dorsey, Michael Jackson's music director, did We the World and thousands of scores on different films and TV shows, is our music director. You can see it's a great, amazing event that's coming up 2026. We'll be given the date on the app. It's a 40-foot gold carpet. It was hosted by Kate Linder and Trey Ireland, and a lot of fun. So just giving you guys an idea of the fun that we have here at eZWay Family. So I hope you guys can join us. And Robert, anything else do you have for us in closing? Anything else that you might have?
Yeah, I guess with respect to the film American Trash, if people are curious to see it, you can watch it on Amazon Prime. You can watch it on Apple TV. You can watch it on Tubi. You can watch it on Roku, and I think Plex and several others.
Well, if you want to get it on close to 500 million potential viewers, let's chat about getting it on eZWayTV.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, it was a pleasure having you on, Robert. And if I could ask you one more thing, I'm going to put you on stage. Just give us a friendly shout out on what you thought about the show. Tell people to watch eZWayTV. And thank you again for being a guest.
Thank you for having me, Eric. I appreciate it.
So if you could, please, Robert, just say, hey, I'm Robert LaSardo. I had a blast on Easy Talk Live. I want you guys to watch eZWayTV. You should subscribe. Just tell your fans to subscribe if you wouldn't mind.
Yes, I had a blast talking with Eric on eZTV, and check it out, man. Yeah, check it out, subscribe, and enjoy more, profound content like this, and learn stuff, I guess, because Eric clearly is a very intelligent, insightful man. I think that him and I are going to be speaking, and I can learn from him. I can always learn from somebody. I enjoy that. So maybe take a hint from him and myself.
Oh, thank you so much, Robert. I appreciate that. No, I'm looking forward to getting to know you a bit better. This has been a great interview, great episode, and it's definitely going to get out there. So we'll be sending you all the places that it goes and so on and so forth. So again, guys, hope you enjoyed the show, Easy Talk Live. This is a very interactive show. So we have another guest coming up, which actually did Friday the 13th. Jason Lives, major director, coming on. Shout out to Michael for bringing him on. You can find out more. We'll have a special bulletin. We'll have a special article coming out on eZWaynews.com. You can subscribe there. But ultimately, if you go to eZWay.tv and you subscribe, you will be able to find this show and everywhere that it's going to go. So thank you so much, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. Tell your friends. Shout out to everybody that tuned in. CIA Fashion Magazine and Dawn and Karen and all the fans today, Daisy Girl and all you guys. We so appreciate you guys, and Kurt and and everybody that was on here today, Vanessa and Michael and all you guys. We so appreciate you tuning in. Because remember, we're nothing without you guys. I mean, you guys really, really make it happen for us. So I hope to see you on my Instagram. I hope to see you following Robert LaSardo's Instagram. Check out his movie, guys. I mean, this is a cool dude. You can see he's really down to earth. Let's all waterfall effect and support his movie. And I'm sure it's very available on all those, on his Instagram. You can get information on his profile on eZWay Family, as well as we'll make sure we give you the information to watch the movie and what platform it's going to be on. And who knows? Stay tuned. It might be on eZWayTV. So thanks so much for tuning in, guys. We'll see you guys next time on Easy Talk Live. Keep doing the eZWay, hashtag eZWay Family. And we'll be back with with another amazing episode. Till next time. Bye-bye. You're watching eZWayTV, powered by eZWayNetwork.com.